This boy was dressed in an awkward costume and forced to fight against hundreds of combat robots. Does he have a chance for rescue? Let's find out from the recap of the cartoon Astro Boy. When our planet becomes overpolluted, scientists lifted a whole mountain and sent it to the sky. They built a wonderful modern city around this mountain and called it Metro City. Now, people have little interest in the events happening on Earth. Life in Metro City is truly fabulous. Robots do all the work for people. They cook food, raise children, build houses, queue, test new cars and clean up the city. One of Metro City's top scientists is named Dr. Tenma, and he's a real robot expert. Thanks to him, the machines are getting smarter and more resourceful, and old, useless or broken robots can be easily dumped down to Earth in a huge pile of garbage. Dr. Tenma has a son, Toby, and this boy is a real genius. He solves a difficult test paper in a matter of minutes and goes home accompanied by his faithful robot assistant Orin. A hologram of his father appears in the car, and Tenma informs the boy that he can't take him to his workplace because President Stone is going to present his new robot peacekeepers today. Toby is so eager to see this wonderful robot that he reprograms Orin and makes him drive not home but to the Ministry of Science. Seeing his son at work, Tenma gets really angry, but Stone is furious and orders the security robot to lock up the boy until the presentation is over. However, the cunning Toby quickly manages to escape. In the meantime, another scientist, Dr. Elfin, shares his discovery with his colleagues. This blue core is a very powerful source of light and safe energy. The scientists have extracted it from fragments of a distant star. Unfortunately, there's a problem. While extracting the blue energy, he has also obtained a red core. It's a dark, unexplored energy that destroys rather than creates. President Stone is extremely interested in this red core. He wants to install it in a new robot, the Peacekeeper, and make it completely invulnerable. Dr. Elfin warns that this might be too dangerous, but no one listens to him. Stone takes the red core and inserts it into the robot. In order to test its capabilities, dozens of combat drones are unleashed to attack the Peacekeeper. The robot immediately engages in a fierce battle with them. At that moment, Toby shows up nearby. The boy comes closer to get a better look at the dangerous robot. However, the Peacekeeper becomes more and more aggressive with each passing second. Tired of fighting with the drones, it attacks its creators. The scientists set up an impenetrable barrier. Unfortunately, it turns out that the dangerous robot gets trapped along with Toby. Tenma struggles to open the barrier, but he fails. That's when the robot attacks. The barrier blocks the shot, but a section of the matter is destroyed. Conventional weapons are useless against the Peacekeeper, and Dr. Elfin uses the energy of the blue core to disarm it. It was impossible to save Toby. The only thing left of the boy is a red cap. Miserable Tenma decides to create a robot that will replicate his son. He uses the DNA from Toby's hair found in the cap. He also uploads all of the boy's memories into the robot. Instead of a heart, his chest now contains a blue core. The robot raises his head and opens his eyes. He walks a little awkwardly, but he recognizes his father. Tenma is hiding the truth from him about the accident. Orin, the robot assistant, quickly realizes that the boy in front of him is not a living boy, but a machine. However, Tenma forbids him to tell the boy about it. The scientists decide that the boy should no longer go to school and is going to educate him at home. The man teaches his son a few lessons. At first, the father is pleased with his progress, but soon realizes that the boy's brain works in a completely different way now. Tenma calls Dr. Elfin and complains that the robot can't replace his son. At that moment, Toby is sitting in his room and hears the voices of the two robot cleaners. The boy grabs one of them to find out why he understands the language of simple robots, and falls out of the window. Toby suddenly realizes that he didn't hit the ground and turn into a flatbread. Instead, he flew up using the jet engines hidden in his legs. At first, Toby thinks it's a dream, but soon realizes realizes that it's happening for real. The boy likes his new superpowers so much that he immediately starts flying all over Metro City. Moreover, it turns out he's invulnerable to any impact. Also, he's incredibly fast. Toby is rushing around the city, slightly spoiling the lives of the locals. After having a lot of fun flying, the boy rushes to his father to show off his talents. However, there is one problem. President Stone's workers have detected an unidentified flying object with a blue core and immediately set off in search of it. Meanwhile, Toby returns to his father's house and overhears his conversation with Dr. Elfin. The boy finally figures out that he is a robot. Moreover, Tenma admits that he wants to deactivate the boy since he doesn't need him anymore. Toby is desperate. He leaves his home and flies away aimlessly. He is spotted by Stone's robots, but thanks to his super speed, the boy manages to escape from them without any trouble. The villains try to catch him in a net, but Toby turns out to be much stronger than the robots and breaks free. Then Stone decides to destroy the little robot and take away his core. Many projectiles fly at the protagonist. After many strong blows, Toby loses consciousness and falls to the surface of Earth, right on the junkyard of broken robots. They feel the power of the blue core inside Toby and want to use it to recharge, but the boy escapes from them too. A bit later, Toby meets a small metal dog that looks like a trash can, so the boy decides to use this nickname for it. The robot dog calls Toby to walk together, and the protagonist obediently follows it, but it turns out that Trash Can has lured the boy into a trap. He is captured by a gang of kids led by a brave, though a little strange girl named Cora. Toby doesn't admit that he's a robot, lying that he's just a regular boy. It turns out that these kids are wandering around the junkyard looking for broken robots so that a genius craftsman named Hammock can repair them. At this point, someone grabs Toby and quickly carries him away. These are the members of a group known as the Robot Revolutionary Front. The leader of the group named Sparks, a huge red robot named Robotsky, and Mike the Fridge. They come up with a new name for the boy, Astro, and explain that they hate Hammock more than anything else in the world because he uses robots as his slaves. That's why they want to stealthily approach the nasty Hammock and tickle him with a feather. At that very moment, Cora and her friends show up at the base of the robots and take Astro with them. Stone breaks into Tenma's house along with his troops and demands the scientist to return the blue core to him. The president states that he will find the robot boy, and Tenma agrees to extract the core from him and give it to Stone. Cora brings Astro to a town inhabited only by children. They amuse themselves by using trash found at the robot junkyard instead of toys. There is only one adult here. This is Hammock, a kind and caring man who loves repairing robots and entertaining the kids. Hammock treats the kids to pizza, but it looks like it's not fresh. Nevertheless, the kids are having fun and look like one big family. The next day, Cora, Astro and the other kids go to the junkyard again in search of broken robots. Trashcan tries to explain to everyone that Astro is not a real boy, but she can't talk. Astro notices a huge robot weighing several tons, crawls inside the machine and finds its name, Zog. The boy transfers some of the energy of the blue core to Zog, and the ancient machine immediately comes back to life. Meanwhile, Hammock is training his robots for the competition. Cora and the boys return riding the huge Zog. Hammock gets excited to examine the new robot with interest. Using one of his devices, Hammock realizes that Astro is also a robot, but he doesn't tell anyone about it. The kids clean, wash and polish Zog, preparing him for a competition. They decorate Zog's body with war paint, write his name and take a commemorative photo. In the evening, Astro is playing with Trashcan and notices Cora. He sees that her cell phone is broken and repairs it. The boy finds out that Cora also used to live in Metro City, but ran away from home, and now tries to call her parents every night, but they don't respond. Astro wants to tell Cora his secret, but he lacks the courage to do it. It's the day of the competition. The robot revolutionaries led by Sparks secretly sneak in there. Hammock calls everyone to enter the arena, and Cora confesses to Astro that the robots must fight each other to the death. The boy is really frightened frightened by this news. He starts arguing with Hammock, and the man immediately paralyzes him. Then Korra and the rest of the kids realize that their new friend is just a robot. When Astro comes to his senses, he finds himself in the arena, wearing the Astro Boy costume. A huge robot appears in front of him and tries to cut the protagonist with a sharp disc. Alas, the arena is surrounded by a protective field and there is no way to escape. Having no other choice, Astro destroys his opponent. Another robot appears in the arena. It's tiny and very cute, but it's a trap. The baby transforms into two dangerous robots and attacks Astro. In the end, the main character defeats the new opponents. Then, Astro is attacked by a huge crowd of combat robots. However, Sparks and his companions appear among them and stand up for Astro. Alas, revolutionary robots are rapidly thrown out of the arena. After all, Astro manages to cope with his opponents without anyone's help. In the final round, the boy is supposed to fight against Zog. Astro refuses to do it because this robot is his friend. Zog also refuses to fight and even tries to crush the nasty Hammock, but Astro saves the man. Suddenly, a spaceship lands on the arena. These are Stone's soldiers. They take Astro with them, and the boy doesn't even resist. The protagonist is taken to Tenma and Elfen's laboratory. The scientist extracts the blue core from the boy and gives it to Stone, but then abruptly changes his mind, takes the core from the president and puts it back into Astro. The boy regains consciousness and escapes. Tenma and Elfen are immediately arrested. Stone inserts the red core into a combat robot, a more advanced version of the Peacekeeper. This machine consumes other objects. The robot comes to life, and the first thing it swallows is Stone himself. Each item or weapon absorbed makes the robot grow bigger and bigger. Astro notices that something terrible is happening in Metro City and rushes there. He observes a huge robot gradually destroying the city and attempts to stop it. But the red core is more powerful than the blue one, so the boy loses the fight. Korra and the kids realize that Astro needs help. They take Hammock's car and fly to Metro City. There they find Astro and rescue him right at the moment when a massive machine is about to crush our little hero. The giant robot chases them and destroys Metro City's power system, causing the city to fall to the surface of the planet. In an attempt to save people, Astro flies down right underneath Metro City and tries to hold it up. Thanks to the power of his engine and the blue core, the city smoothly descends to Earth and all of the inhabitants remain alive. Astro continues the fight with the robot, even though he realizes that it's futile. Tenma shows up and confesses to the boy that if the red and blue cores are combined, both of them will be destroyed. Astro realizes that this is the only chance. He flies towards the huge robot, punches through its metal hull and reaches the red core. An explosion occurs, and the aggressive robot is shattered into pieces. Stone is found among these scraps alive and unharmed. He is immediately arrested. Korra and the other kids find Astro. The boy shows no signs of life. Is this really the end? That's when Zog shows up and returns some of the blue core energy to Astro, with the help of which the boy once revived him. The protagonist recharges and opens his eyes. Astro is now a true hero. Korra meets her dad and mom in Metro City and figures out they've been looking for her all over the city and missed her a lot. Tenma no longer considers robots to be stupid soulless machines and even gives Orin the first day off in his life. An alien monster that looks like a huge red squid appears in the sky, and Astro immediately rushes to save humanity from this new threat. The meaning of this guy's life is to save people, and mine is to please you with cool new videos. Your likes and subscriptions to the channel will help me do it even better. I'll see you later, friends.